Right, so then we've had some questions about the campervan. How wide is the bed, and do you both sleep comfortably? So the bed is 101 centimetres wide.
Yeah, it's narrow.
Which is narrow.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's I think it's classified as a small double.
Yeah.
Because we've got a small double mattress topper that just fits perfectly.
Yeah. It's
just about wide enough to sleep.
Just about wide enough. I've been having trouble with my back just recently, and I hurt my back at home. And what I find in bed at home, we've got, what's our bed at home? A king size.
King size. Yeah.
You know, if you want to roll over, you can easily roll over and spread out. Here, you have to roll over in situ. You know, you can't just roll in the bed.
Yeah.
And that takes quite a bit of effort, I find. So if I've got a bad back, it can be quite awkward. But you soon fall asleep, and once you're asleep, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, that's it. And we find we go into really deep sleeps as well, don't we?
Yeah.
So it's plenty comfortable enough for that. And the lengthwise, it's just, we're 5'10", and it's just about long. I think any taller than that, and you're going to get a bit of overhang at the end.
I think. Although we know some people who are taller, who say that they have no issues. Yeah,
I suppose you can get your legs onto the passenger chair when it's swiveled round.
Well, only one of you could do that, really, couldn't they?
Yeah, and if you could make it work.
I think the first night in the van, I find the first night in the van is an uncomfortable night, and it gets better. The more nights I do, the more I get used to it. I don't have any
problem. I just straight into it straight away.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love a bigger bed, wouldn't you?
Oh,
you
would
do.
Well, anybody would, yeah.
But then again, I love being able to park more than that.
Yep. What do you use as a mattress topper, and what bedding do you use? Well, we bought a mattress topper from a company online called The Wool Room. It's obviously made of wool because you have a dust allergy.
Yeah.
So we wanted that. So we've got the small double size mattress topper, which fits the space perfectly. And then we just use a double quilt on top. And we use just a like a summer one. We don't have a heavy winter one because we both get very hot in bed at night. So we find that works fine.
Yeah.
And just have the heating on when we're cold. And in the summer, it's fine. Keeps cool enough.
Yeah. Was it Ian Davies that recommended the bedding?
Nigel Davies.
Nigel Davies, yeah. And that was quite a game changer, really, wasn't it? Because before, if you look at some of our earlier videos, there was dust and feathers and
everywhere,
stuff. All over in the air, swirling around. And ever since we went to the wool, it's been much better.
Are your fans useful in the winter or cooler months?
We have
got them with us now.
Yeah, and I wish I hadn't brought them with the weather that we've had. The only downside of them is when you're sitting in the van, you know, it restricts your head space. When
the bed's down and you're sitting at the back, like in the evening to watch a movie or something, we would have to move the fans forward, otherwise you hit your head on them.
I was experimenting using them to help with condensation, so basically pointing them this way, so when we're breathing in the bed, it's sending the condensation up to the front of the van, where sometimes depending on what the weather is like, we crack the windows. We're still using the bubble wrap in these windows, all the side and round the back. And then that's really cutting down the condensation there. And we're leaving the front sides and the front screen to gather the moisture. But would I do it again this time of year? I probably wouldn't bring them this time of the year.
No.
But in summer, they're indispensable,
definitely in the summer. Yeah. So we've had a question about how did we make the blackout curtain behind the front seats and how do we use it? So we'll have to demonstrate that. We'll show you that.
Yeah.
We are going to do a van tour, aren't we?
Yeah, a new one.
So we'll do that.
That's snappier, more to the point.
But how we made it, we just bought a blackout curtain from B&M. And I just sewed a hem along the top so it could be threaded onto a broom handle.
Yeah.
And then you cut the broom handle to the right width so
Yeah.
it just fits on the ledge here for the pop top roof.
Yeah.
It threads on. And
we didn't shape it at all, did we?
We haven't shaped it at all. Just cut it to the right length.
Yeah.
And hemmed it and to the right width.
Yeah.
And then we just fix it at the sides with magnets.
Which is very, very quick to do
and
is very effective. It's a really good blackout, isn't it?
And it's really thick blackout. Yeah, it's perfect. And then it just rolls up and it just tucks in.
Yeah.
Under the pop top
with
roof.
A pressure fit, basically.
Perfectly.
And you don't even have to take care about rolling it up, do you? I just bunch it all up and squeeze it in.
Yeah.
We drop that every time we leave the van.
Yeah.
And if we are stealth camping, then I tend to flop it over the front seats so that the heater vent is clear.
Yeah. And we've had a question, how does your tarp fit into the awning rails? So that'd probably be something that would be...
Well, would show.
We have actually shown that on one of our lockdown videos. We show us putting it up.
Making it, don't we?
And
there is one making it.
There is one of making it. We'll have to try and find it and put the link in.
Yeah. But it's basically a piece of awning rail hem, isn't it?
Yeah, which we bought off Amazon, and it's in our Amazon storefront.
Yeah.
You just sew the awning rail thing onto the edge of the tarp.
You need a sewing machine to be able to do that.
Yeah, you'd need a sewing machine, but it was really easy to do with a sewing machine.
Yeah.
And then you basically just thread like you do if you're attaching an awning to a caravan. It just goes through the awning rail. So you'd have to have an awning rail fitted to the side of your van, and it just threads through.
Yeah, we've got the rail both sides of the van.
Yeah, so it can go both sides. So what is the one thing you would absolutely must have in your camper, and what are the top 5 or 10 essential items for a small camper van, whatever the weather? So
number one item that springs into my mind is a pee bottle. You must have a pee bottle, and you must have like the bivy loo.
If you're caught short.
I'll use that as the both of those things as one item.
Yeah.
So that if you've got that, you have got peace of mind, because wherever you are, you can go to the loo if you need to. Right in the middle of a city to anywhere out in the countryside.
Yeah. Other essential things are, well, your basics really, like a kettle. But I suppose they're assuming that you would already have them.
Let's not go into those sort of things in the sense that obviously you need to eat, you need to drink and make cups of tea and feed you. But as for essential items for us, I'd say you need torches. Head torches. Head torches are essential. If you're wild camping, if you're not wild camping, you don't really need these.
Well, they always useful to have on a campsite as well. Anyway, if you're going to the toilet in the dark and things.
But some of the places we camp are so dark, and you could be in a ditch without realising it in 2 seconds, couldn't you?
And they're much more useful than an actual torch that you would carry. They take up less room because we just fit them over the headrests on the car front seat.
We've never used them yet in anger, and touch wood we don't, but I wouldn't be without the reflective jackets.
Yeah. And
having them on the front seat, I think, is really good because it makes it look like two blokes are sitting in the van, doesn't it? So what? Because we have hardly any kit in this van. Yeah. We've been there and done that.
It's been stopped.
Is it? Yeah, we've been there and done that in the sense with our caravan. We had awnings. We had everything, outside barbecues.
All situations, yeah.
And everybody, I think, goes through that. But when you're wild camping, you don't want a lot of kit.
No.
Especially in such a small van.
Yeah. The little camping chairs we've got are great. The tiny little chairs. They pack away really small. They haven't had a lot of use yet, have they? No, but...
Because of the weather?
Not in the winter time. You probably don't actually need to bring them away in the winter time. You could have more space in the back, but certainly in the summer they're nice.
Is there anything we're wanting?
Well, another question is there any gadget or accessory that you've bought but no longer use?
Probably not for this van.
No.
Because of my experience with the caravan, I learnt my lesson that less is more.
Yeah. In the past, we've bought like barbecues.
You name it. We had it. Electric bikes. We had awning with the blow up blooming. What was it? A settee.
Yes,
do you remember all of
big
that?
beanbag chairs
Carpets
that we used to have.
would go down in the awning.
Rugs that we put down in the awning. A lovely electric heater that we had in there.
But no, I wouldn't do any of that.
We bought some little umbrellas that you can clip to the chair to use as sunshades.
They were quite good. But we don't have them anymore.
And we don't really have the space to bring them now. No. And we don't get the sun much, so we don't bring them.
Yeah, so basically we've got the bare minimum. And I'm really happy with that. Yeah. Is there anything you would have that you want that you really miss?
No, not that I can think of at the moment. Do you have a grey water tank, and how do you empty it? So, well, no, we don't have an underslung grey water tank or one that you have in the cupboard that some campervans have. What we do have is we just have a pipe that goes from the sink and comes out outside. So what we started doing when we first got the van was we had a collapsible bucket, which if we were staying on a campsite, we'd put under that, and all the wastewater would go into the bucket, and then you just empty the bucket. But we found there's a problem. We were a bit worried sometimes about the bucket blowing away.
It did blow away a
couple of times.
And I've run over it twice.
And you've run over it twice. And we've thought we've lost it from when we left the last campsite we stayed on. We thought we'd left it behind, but then you must have forgotten that you had to put it away and found it in the cupboard afterwards.
Oh, is it turned up again then?
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I wouldn't bother with that.
We wouldn't bother with that. Because
except if we go on a campsite and then you've got to put something under the waist just for the benefit of the wardens, haven't you?
To show you're using it,
to show you're not letting your waist go on the floor.
But now we don't, A, because we don't stay at a lot of campsites, and B, don't really like having a lot of horrible, greasy, dirty water going down the pipe because it can cause smells later on.
Yeah, exactly. There's no water trap, is there, like you would have at home?
So all we use now is we've got a plastic container with a lid, which we keep in the sink.
Yeah.
And all our wastewater, we tip into that and put the lid on when we're travelling.
Yeah, it's a sealable lid, so it doesn't splash.
So it doesn't splash everywhere. And then I put a little bit of washing up liquid in it, so when we come to empty it, it's easy, just wipe it clean with a bit of kitchen paper and it's as good as new.
Yeah, and it works great.
Yeah, it works great. Just empty it out every day. And
our water use is minimal. Really small. So that's what we do, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Yeah, works well. Right, next question. How often do you raise the pop top, and is it essential?
I wouldn't want to be without it.
I'd say it's definitely essential, although...
you go on there, you say.
You've got to have it. This time of year, we don't raise it very often, so we've been away for a week now so far on this trip, and we haven't put the roof up once yet. But if there was a nice sunny day and we were parked up somewhere, then we would put it up. In the summer, it's a different story. It's up all the time, up and down, up and down. Every time you stop, you're putting it up and down. And it is nice having it up when you're cooking and washing up. To be able to stand up, it is really nice, and for getting washed and dressed in the morning, it's nice.
Okay, I'd have a different take on that. I'd say it's not essential. We watch lots of YouTubers who've got very small vans who don't have a pop top, and they seem to survive, no problem. So it's not essential in that I would say to somebody, forget it. Don't do it unless you've got a pop top. I think you can survive, and the younger you are, the easier it would be.
Easier, yeah.
But you find it difficult cooking and and washing up, don't you?
Yeah.
Sitting down. I don't find any problem with that, but you do. Yeah, so that's the only thing I'd add to that. We like it. When we're at home, if it's a sunny day, the pop top goes up, and we let it air, don't we?
Get an airing,
and I'll open the windows, the side windows, and we air the van a lot when we're at home.
Yeah.
And we would do exactly the same if there was a sunny day here, but we haven't had one yet.
Still waiting. What solar panel do you have, and are you happy with it? I'll let you answer that because I don't know the detail of it.
I think it's a 100-watt solar panel. It's a flexible one. The first one broke, didn't it?
Yeah,
and was
after about a year.
Yeah, and it was recalled and obviously replaced free of charge by Sussex Campervans. I'm not too au fait with the electrical setup in the van. I know we got a lithium battery and 100-hour lithium battery. Our electrical system is absolutely top notch, isn't it? We're never short of power, short of power.
No, the only time was when the solar panel wasn't working. When we were in Wales last year.
Yeah, we noticed a dip.
It went down. How low did it go? Did it get down to 30%?
Might have got down. Well, it might have done. Yeah,
I think
it might have done
at one time, and we just had to start the engine to recharge it.
And it charges so quickly off the engine.
But even like on this trip now, when we've had hardly any sun, and it hasn't gone down, I think.
What was it this morning? Do you know?
About 67.
67% by the time we. And that was with the heater on at night. Having the heating
on all night.
And we're constantly charging stuff.
Yeah.
So we're
charging this pad now.
Now, having said that, our use of the van, we're constantly on the move, aren't we?
Yeah. As long as you're driving somewhere every day, that charges it up.
It's no problem at all.
And in the morning, you turn the engine on to get the aircon to demist everything.
Yeah.
So then you're charging the engine then. So.
If we were parked up, not moving for days on end, I suppose we would eventually have a problem. The solar panel does help. It certainly does help. Yeah, but for us, I wouldn't say it's the primary source of power. Driving is that.
Next question. Are you looking at getting a larger vehicle in the future or going full time?
Right. You answer that first then.
Yeah, I can see sometime in the future we probably will get a bigger van because there'll come a point probably.
There'll come a point where this is no longer viable for us, won't
and as we get older as well, this will become harder and harder, I should think. I don't know.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is being so small you can drive it anywhere, so we're not going to go much bigger because we don't want to do away with that advantage. And
I like wild camping. I don't like campsites very much.
No,
I can't stand the regimented rules and being told when you can arrive and when you have to leave by.
Yeah. And it's great being able to get under all the height barriers in car parks and just park in a normal parking space like a car. So
I'd really miss that.
Bigger.
If we went bigger, I would really miss because. Like we picked up a Chinese last night in the heart of Kendal, didn't we?
Yeah.
Parked in a little bay for a car.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do it in the bigger vans, but we've never, touch wood, had a problem ever parking, have we? Yeah. And also we tuck away so quick. Last night we were tucked away, weren't we?
Yeah. No one even knew we were there, I think.
We're very
people
car-like.
People don't notice you because you're more like a car.
Us.
If we'd been in a big motorhome where we were parked last night,
it would have been obvious
we
what
might
we were doing.
Caused a bit of concern to people, Yeah, because it's obvious that we're camping.
Now, about full-time.
Full-time, no, I don't think we're never going to go full-time.
Full credit to anybody who goes full-time.
That is hard work.
That is great, and I can see why people would do it, but we would never go full-time. Now, that might be because we got we might feel this way because our van is so small. So we've never been away in a larger motorhome or van, have we?
No.
And I could imagine, you know, it's a much easier life because we have to make the bed every night. We have to make the bed, well, not make the bed, but pull the bed down every time we want to relax.
Yeah. You've not got much space for cooking, so
No, it's hard.
Yeah.
And so, you know, imagine if we had the comfort of our caravan. That was a very comfortable base, wasn't it?
But we have discussed it between ourselves, and even then we've said even if we did have the bigger van, we still wouldn't go full time. Because
also, it makes you appreciate your home a lot more. Obviously, when COVID struck, we were very grateful that we had a home to get back to, didn't we?
Yeah.
And also, it remains a holiday to us. When we're out in the van, it's a holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Away from home,
That's
a break
right.
from home.
Yeah. And you've got the problem of finding somewhere to park every night if you're in a bigger van.
Yeah.
And you'd probably stay more on campsites.
Yeah.
Maybe,
and let's be honest, I mean, we don't, well, it's very rarely that we have a problem finding somewhere to stay, but you always have that thought in the back of your mind, will we get a knock? Will we be asked to leave? That never goes away. And I don't believe that ever could go away for a full-timer.
No.
So how wearing that might be over time, I don't know.
I don't know. But it's not something that we would consider doing anyway.
No, I don't think so.
What would be the pros and cons of a larger van with a toilet? Well,
I hate chemical toilets.
Yeah.
Do you honestly, if I had a bigger van, I still wouldn't use a chemical toilet. I think chemical toilets, number one, they're unpleasant to empty, and there'll be people that will leave comments and say they're no trouble at all. Well, yeah, we did it for 20 years.
20, 30 years
so
with a caravan.
We know what it's like dealing with chemical toilets. Dealing with a chemical toilet that's overflowed, which I did once in a caravan. It didn't overflow, it was just that the blade hadn't been
shut properly.
Yeah. And it was full of pee in the container that luckily they built into them to catch it. Was awful.
What's that flashing light?
That might be saying that we're about to run out of recording space. I don't know what this is a brand new camera, so I don't know what that is. It seems to be still recording, so we'll keep going for a minute.
So chemical toilets.
Chemical toilets, don't like them. What we currently use, and there's 2 videos showing what we use.
Works fine.
Works perfectly.
So I think even if we got a bigger van, we'd probably still carry on. The bivy loo is just fine.
I would definitely carry on
Perfect
the bivy loo.
Bivy loo. And using public toilets, I haven't got an issue with that. I'd quite happily much rather go in a public toilet, a cafe toilet.
Yeah, doesn't bother me at all.
And use one in the van anyway.
And then you just don't have the hassle.
And then you haven't got to deal with the waste
yourself.
What
was the question? I forgot what the question was now.
Pros and cons of a larger van with a toilet. So the cons would be that obviously you've got a bigger van and you've got all the
higher running costs,
same problems,
higher servicing costs,
restrictions on where you can go, getting under height barriers if it's a taller van.
You stand out more. But the pros are you can have all the comfort you possibly could want.
Yeah.
You can have a decent heating system. And what I mean by that, the heating system in this van is fine. It will warm the van up, but it can't hold a constant temperature, can it?
No.
It's no.
It's goes cold.
What do they call it? Any diesel heater or LPG heater, like the ones fitted to this, which blow warm air, don't hold a constant temperature. But we had the Truma system in.
Stop.
It's gone. Okay. You need to learn more about your camera, Ken. Oh well, that's enough for this episode of the Q&A. More coming later.